Mandela! So I wanted to talk to you quickly about love letters. So a few weeks ago I wrote on my Instagram and posted on my Facebook talking about love letters and the art of writing love letters, and a lost art that I think should be brought back. I do really hope that men and women everywhere started writing again, started expressing their feelings again. And I got a lot of different messages about that little post, because basically what I was saying is that writing love letters for me is one of the most delicious tools that we can have to experience love, when we open our heart and we pour what we feel on paper. And it doesn't really matter what kind of words you actually choose. It doesn't really matter how eloquent the sentence and the phrases are written. What really matters is the feelings that's behind it. Sometimes you can see the shortest poem with the most common words, but with such a punch behind them, with such intention and such passion behind them that your heart just melts right away. And of course, it's also very much more impressive when this kind of letter comes from a loved one, especially a lover. But those love letters can come from anyone. It can come from a friend, it can come from a family member, it can come from your children, come from your parents. And I think this is a perfect time of the year when people start thinking about family, about being with family and expressing love, looking for love, being in community, being together. So I wanted to kind of talk about that, and because a lot of people were talking about they're not artists or they're not poets, and they feel shy about doing that, and they feel shy about doing this. But I think no, love letters are open to anyone and everyone. It's not about the choice of word, as I said. It's really about the emotions, the feelings that you do have inside, emotion and feeling that you feel that you want to share. And sometimes even if you may be thinking about it and hesitating, just the fact that you are feeling those emotions, that you have this feeling, it could be a feeling of pure love, it could be a feeling of love and lust, it could be a feeling of love and friendship, love and gratitude that you may have and that you may want to express. And you may want to express that to your lover, you may want to express that to your parents, to your best friends, to the people around you, to your children. Your children may want to express that to you and other people to you as well. But sometimes it's also, you may want to express that to people who don't necessarily know that you do love them. And I think that's kind of the greatest injustice, to be walking around or interacting with people without knowing how much they love and care for you. And sometimes that simple love note can make a huge difference in someone's life. Just remember, if you ever gotten a love note from your husband, your boyfriend, your partner, or just a friend, or even just your child, just a love note that say "Maman, je t'aime," or "Mommy, I love you," and just think about how you felt. Just think about the smile that you put on your face, the warmth you start feeling in your heart. And that's kind of like the expression. You can also use it to just, if you say, well, I don't have a lover, well, I don't have a significant other, I don't have friends, I'm isolated, then in that case I'll say to you, think about what brings you joy and passion, what fills your heart. Think about what you have done to your own self in terms of the things that you never thought you would accomplish, the situation that you never thought you'd be able to deal with, and write that love letter to yourself. Yes, it's not about anything that has to do with being narcissistic. It's about you showing that self-love to your own self, and by looking at it on paper, by remembering the feelings and the emotions that are behind all of the situations and all of the words that you put on that paper, you're going to start feeling that warmth into your heart. And it may also bring you to a place that you are able to take off those dark glasses that prevent you from seeing the love that's around you, because nobody truly lives in isolation. There may be that online friend that's always liking your picture and commenting. There may be someone else around you that you may not be truly sensing the love that is still there. And they deserve a love letter. I think everyone deserves a love letter. I think love letters should make a comeback. I used to write love letters when I was in relationships, and when I was inspired, even when I was single. I think I used to write about my own feelings about someone else that I was interested in, or to write about relationship from my friends when they would talk to me about. I may be inspired to write something about it, to write something on the paper. I've written also love letters for other people, where someone would tell me about how they feel about the man in their life, and I will just take what they tell me and let my hands guide to write what I interpreted to be their love. And for a lot of them, it was a kind of therapeutic experience, and they actually loved it, and they shared that with their lovers at some point. And to me, it's kind of like a treat when to be privy to someone else's love, and to hear people talk about how they feel about their partner, and I think there's nothing so much great. People always talk about the wedding, and when you're crying and you're hearing people make their vows and they're talking about the magic, you see the magic, you feel the emotion. But most of the time, it's only at a wedding that you kind of feel like surrounded by so much love and tenderness. So for me, when I used to do that a lot, it was like such a treat. It's such a treat to hear a man talk about a woman he loves so much, and to be able to write that down, because as you are thinking about the word that he used, you are thinking about what he's expressing, the situation and everything like that, you start feeling that love yourself as well as you're writing that. And then you can give him back the words, so he can put a little punch of himself into that, and back of himself even more, before giving it to his loved one. It's the same when you hear a woman talking about the love of her life, the father of her children, and the love that she feels for him. And that has no bound. That has no bound, because it doesn't matter. It's not because you divorce that you have to do away with that love. It's not because the relationship ended that you have to do away with that love. Yes, you have to do away with the relationship. Once it's over, it's over. But you don't have to do away with the love. And you don't have to do away with the memory of you being a trusting relationship, of you being open, of you feeling loved for all of that, the goodness of while the relationship lasted. And I think a love letter sometimes captures that. I've enjoyed reading back old love letters and seeing how genuine people were in the vulnerability that they showed in their letters, and still being able to feel the love that they put in it, whether I felt the same or not. It was more about, it's a tool that's more about you expressing the love that you feel, regardless of if the person is going to validate that or reciprocate or return it to you. It's really a matter of you expressing that and letting those feelings out of you, because most of the time when we let them out of us, they are able to come back to us. In many different ways, in more than one ways, at least. And so, yeah, I wanted to say, I'm kind of like a helpless romantic, if we can say. I love love letters, and I have to say, yes, some men are not really into that, especially if they're not artistic and they don't necessarily like to write. But I've found that sometimes when you write enough love letters, when you express your thoughts and you express your feelings, and people write and read them, no matter who they are, no matter who you're writing to, they have that feeling, that tingling, that warmth in their heart that makes them melt. I think it's such a beautiful thing when someone who says, "Oh, I never write. I don't like writing. I can care less about that." And they read something you wrote and they feel so touched that they have to take their own pen and write something back. And when they're writing back, it's not about how well they're writing. It's about the emotion and the feelings that they put behind. It's about to know that, love moved them to express as well. And this is so therapeutic for those who've been hurt before, who've built walls, and who've played games and probably got, stars and medals playing games relationship games and so forth and so on, and who barricaded themselves behind a hardcore wall, sorry, and hardened their heart at the same time. And to see them soften, to see that wall around their heart, come down a little so that they can write that and express the love that they had within. I think it's magical to hear somebody to say, this is the first love letter I've ever received, or this is the best love letter I've ever received, or I love the feelings in that letter. I love the emotion in that letter. And sometimes I love to be loved. So this video is just for you. This is a time of the year that a lot of people may start to feel lonely. And don't worry guys, I'm working on a series of videos that will gonna get us into the new year, where you will have a lot to look forward to these seasons if you don't have anybody, or if you feel lonely, or if you just have free time to watch my videos. That's going to make you a little punch and remind you of the love that I'm going to be sharing to you and sending to you in this particular period of time. I mean, I've done that all year long, but I'm going to be particularly more attuned to discuss more subjects that I wanted to discuss, and make sure that you have that little reminder, that little confirmation that, love is such a beautiful, wonderful thing. And I hope nobody ever makes you believe, makes you give up, distracts you from the beauty of love and all what it can give to you, all what it can do for you, and that he has done. And so those reminders is that if you never had the courage before, if you feel like you've been too hurt over and over and over, please take the time to take that pen and that paper and write that love letter to yourself. Tell yourself how much it's been an amazing year, for example. How much you've come in such a way of the things that you didn't even know you will be able to do this year. That you didn't even have no idea last year that you'd be doing this, or that you'd be overcoming that. Celebrate yourself. And if you also have the chance, the time, and the energy, celebrate those who love you, and even celebrate people who don't know that you love them. Sometimes you take for granted the love that we have for others, and you just forget to tell them, and they need to know. And I think writing a love letter is a pretty neat way to let them know. And I think we can go past that old high school stereotypes in the US where people are scared to write love letters because they're scared that the person will make fun of them, or all that. Give away from that. Give away. Because I have yet to meet one person who received a love letter and didn't feel that kind of little twist and warm in their heart, whether or not they love the person or wanted to be with that person. And I think that's the goal. That's the goal. I think that tool, as love letters are a tool to be used to express love, sometimes to bring that little sunshine into someone's life, into someone's day. And so take the time and write your love letter.